Okay, so we opened Adobe Animate. So we use this Animate for creating 2D animations, right? I think you remember
Yeah.
we make 2D
Yeah, yes, sir.
animations
Yes, sir.
here. Yeah, we tried some stuff here like the uh, frame by frame animation, tweened animation like the motion tween,
Yeah.
the
Motion
shape
twin, yeah.
tween, right? All those stuff we have
Mm.
tried, right? So the frame by
Yes,
frame
sir.
animation was a this thing manual one. The artist has to have to make each frame manually, right? In the tweened
Okay.
animation, we create only the keyframes, that is the frames where the changes are happening, and the in between frames are generated by the software itself.
Software, yeah.
Yeah, that was a tweening thing.
Yeah.
So
We
I'll
just have to
just
give
give
the
you a
first point and the
quick
end
look
point,
at.
yeah.
I'll have a look at the quick look at the things. First, for the frame by frame animation was like I made a shape, so you can see the timeline here, the toolbox here. The this is the canvas we are working with, and it says we are in scene one. And then on the other side, we can see the properties panel, right? Properties library. All the panels are loaded here. And first thing, that was a frame by frame thing. It's also called the classical animation. Okay, that's a frame by frame animation. You can name it here by clicking. And then for the frame by frame, you can see here the first frame is here. The first frame has a line as the content. So if you press F6, that generates or creates a new frame or the duplicate keyframe. F6 function key 6 for duplicate frame. So we can see now two frames are there. This is the second frame. So this is a duplicate one. Okay. So we have two frames here. Now if you make a change here, that will be shown as an animation. One, two, one, two, one, two, like this. Okay, like this you can add as many frames as required and then make the change. So that means any animation that you see, even if it's a movie or something, it's formed out of still images like this. So each frame, we can say each frame is a still image. Okay, so here we are creating individual frames manually and then making the change. Okay, this is F6, then make the change. F6 is for duplicate keyframe. That is a frame with the content is being repeated. Okay, so I'm pressing F6, then I make the change like this. F6 like this we can do. So we can see the newly created frames. Okay, these are the frames. So this is a frame by frame animation where the artist has to design or draw each frame manually. Now in the keyboard, if you press Control Enter, you can see the animation. This is a simple frame by frame animation. This is a frame by frame animation. And the other one, okay, I'm not closing this file. I want to try the other animation in the same file. So what I'm going to do is, so this animation is done. This layer is done. So we have the visibility, lock, and the outline buttons here. I'm going to click on the lock icon, the dot here. So that layer is locked. Always remember when you're working with multiple objects or that requires multiple animations, you lock the layer, other layers before working on it, because in Animate, the layers are automatically selected by the software.
Click. Yeah, software, yeah.
Right. So I'm going to make a new layer. This time I will try the shape tween. So now it's a shape tween. I'm clicking on the frame number one, okay, and I'll draw one shape here. We have a shape here, right? Look at the dot. It is a keyframe with a content. Okay, I don't want the border. It's like if you're making a shape tween, try to remove the border. That's a better one. Otherwise, the result will be unexpected. Okay, here we have the content in frame number one, and we have up to frame number 20 or 19. Okay, here the frame rate is 24. It's written here. That's for 1 second movie. 24 frames are required. Okay, doesn't matter. So we have a content in frame number one, and I'm going to click at frame number 19. Okay, because I made the other one up to 19. Okay, F6 here. So it was not the immediate one. This is the last one. Frame number one, frame number 19. So it has the content here. Right. Now what we do is I'll make a change here. You can make any sort of shape change. Maybe I'll use the free transform and I'm going to stretch this. See, when you're stretching, you can see it goes to both the sides simultaneously. We don't want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is undo, Control Z, and then when you are stretching, press Alt and then stretch. It goes to one side only. So what happened
Okay.
is in the first frame we have a square, and in the last frame It's a rectangle. Okay, so only two keyframes are there, where the first frame has a square and the last one has a rectangle. And this change can be tweened, or the software will animate this for us. If you simply play this, it shows like this, just like this. It's not moving, right? And if you right click anywhere in between, we get the option to apply the tween. We have the motion tween, shape tween, classic tween. Three types of tweens are available here. Here, I'm going to use a shape tween because it's a shape change. When there is a change in the shape, we use a shape tween. Click on the create shape tween. Look at this. It shows a green highlight with a straight black line. Okay, this straight line says this is a successful animation. The animation is successful. And the green color says this is a shape tween. Now press Control Enter and check. You can see that animation is working. So the shape tween is working.
Okay.
This is a shape tween. So when you want to change the shape and tween it, we use the shape tween.
Shape
Apart
to
from
win.
this,
Okay.
the shape tween can be used for tweening the change in color also. Look at this. It starts with the green, ends with the green. Okay, in the last frame, I'm going to change this color. I'll make it into red. Okay, now Control Enter. See this. So the shape tween can change or tween the change in shape and change in color also. Two things you can do with the shape tween. So one is the frame by frame animation and the other one is a shape tween. Okay, so again, another tween option. Again, remember we need to lock the layer. So click on the dot. If you click on the lock icon, what happens? All the layers are locked. If you click on the dot corresponding to the or below the lock
Okay.
icon,
That
only that
particular
layer gets
layer will be
locked.
locked.
Okay,
Okay.
right.
Okay.
So we have
Yeah.
two layers now. Two layers are locked. I'll make another one. And this time I'll make it a classic tween. So we made shape tween. Okay, motion tween we'll try. Motion or classic tween. Classic tween we'll try. Classic tween. So that's a classic tween. It's not classical, it's classic. Classic tween. First frame. In that first frame, I'll make a shape here. Okay, so we have the shape here. I don't want the border. Double click the border, delete it. Now in the frame number 19, F6, and this time I'm not changing the color or shape. I'm just moving it to the other side, opposite side. Then do right click and choose classic tween. Look at this. It says convert selection to a symbol for tweening. Okay, but then when you try to apply the classic tween, it says classic tween can be used on symbols only. We already
Okay.
discussed about
Symbols as in
symbols,
logo.
right? Okay, if you
Yeah.
press F8, we can convert it to symbol. But in this case, it automatically converts to a symbol. The software will do that for us. So just click on OK, and you can see in the library symbols are created. Okay, done. It's done. So now what happens? Look at this. Three types of tweens are there. What you see on top is a shape tween with the tweening the shape change and the color. Then here you can see the classic tween. Sorry, classical animation or the frame by frame animation where we manually did this. And the last one, the moving thing, that's a motion tween. Okay, motion tween, which was done by the software itself. It works on symbols. So perfectly made. Three types of symbols. Okay, fine. So I'm closing this. One more tween type is here. That's a motion tween that we'll try later. Okay, fine. So we have tried the
Yeah.
frame by
Moving the
frame
car and
animation,
everything.
shape tween, and the classic tween. Three things. Okay, fine. Then another thing that we did was I'll open a new file. I'm closing this. I don't want to save. And from the welcome screen, we have two options: HTML5 canvas and the ActionScript 3.0 that we'll be using. This HTML5 we use for advertisements that are supposed to be displayed through the browsers. If you want to create an advertisement to be supplied to someone who want it to be displayed in a website or something, then that time we use HTML5 canvas. And for the normal animations, we can go for this ActionScript 3.0. So ActionScript 3.0, we have a new file. And if you want to change the settings, you can press Control J. Control J. J is for document settings. Okay. Otherwise, you may go to modify document. Then you can see the settings here. Then you can change the size of the width of the thing. Okay. And width and height. And then the frame rate, the background color, everything you can change here. And if you want to set this as default, it's possible by clicking here. Every time when you open, this will be coming as default. Okay. Right. So that is Control J for document settings. Okay. Then after training, we tried path animation. Path animation was you need to create some content, maybe a moving object like a car or something. I named the layer a car. Then draw the car. I'm not making a car, just a box. And to see the front and back, I'll just change the color. Right, so this is a car, but if you click and drag, it comes separate. So I'll highlight both and press Control G. That's for group. Otherwise, you can go to modify and group. Okay, so this is a
Okay.
grouped object and it has a layer. Its layer name is car. I'm going to lock that layer. Then I want the car to move along a path. That's a path animation. To move an object along a path. For moving an
Yeah.
object along a path, we do right click on the layer,
Pen tool.
add
Okay.
classic motion guide. Okay, select
Okay.
this
Okay.
option, add classic motion guide, and then we get a new layer. It's a guide layer. It says guide for the car. Guide for the car layer. Make sure that car layer is locked, and in the guide layer we can use any of the drawing tools for making a path. It can be the pen tool for making curves and all, or you can use a line tool. So whatever you want you can use. If it's a pen tool, start with a click, don't drag it. Okay, start with just a click. Then for making a curve, click and drag diagonally. Okay, once you get the curve, release the mouse button, then you continue. Click, see this. Like this, you can make a curved path. Okay, so we got the path
Yeah.
in the guide layer. So that's a simple path. And okay, this is not completed. Okay, so we have a path here. Right. And we want this car to be moving along this path. For
Mm.
that, what we do is uh, just stretch it, maybe 1 second, 2 second, whatever it is. I'm just highlighting like this. Both the frames, highlight both the frames, and in the keyboard, you press F6 for inserting keyframes. That means the car
Okay.
and the guide
Selected
layer
row.
are expanded up to frame number 35. Then here the animated element is the car. So for the car, let's give a classic tween. Right click and apply classic tween for the car. Click OK when the symbol settings are
We can
appeared.
also give motion tween, na?
Motion tween, any tween type. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we applied the classic tween. So now it is an animated object, but there is no movement actually. Okay. Now what to do is unlock that layer. Now click on the frame number 1. Remember, that's for the car. Look at this. It snaps to the path. If it's not snapping proper, look at the toolbox and there is a snap button here. Make sure it is turned on. Make sure it is turned on. And you can see a magnet icon. I'm dropping it at the beginning. Right. Now that was frame number 1. Now
One
last frame.
last
Click on
frame.
the last frame. Drop it to the other end. So we have placed it here. Now if you check it, look at this, it's moving along the path. Okay, but it's not perfect, so move to the frame number 1, use the free transform tool. Okay, free transform, and for the time being I'm turning off the snap. You can easily rotate it. Then see this, make it parallel to the path. Okay, and then go to the last frame and then check it, and the car should be, the yellow should be on the other side. This is the front of the car, right? So it's done.
Okay. I rotate.
Yeah. Double click hand tool, it will make it fit to screen. Double click zoom tool, 100%. Right. Now, once again, play this. It's coming, starting and ending perfect, but it is sliding. We don't want it to slide. So what we do is in the car layer between frame number 1 and the last frame, one click. Okay, then you go to the properties panel, look at the library. Along with that, the properties panel is there. In the properties panel we have this orient to path option. Turn it on. Okay, that is, click anywhere in between the first and last keyframes, then turn on orient to path. Look at this, it's perfectly following the path. Now press enter. Now it's perfect. Control enter, you can see the perfect one without any line or anything. So if you want to create a road or something, make it as a separate layer, then the car will be moving perfectly along the road. Okay, so this is how we make the path animation. So the path animation requires an object and a path layer. Okay, object layer and a path layer. By right clicking the object layer, you get the classic motion guide option. Then in that you draw the path, whatever shape you want you can draw it, and then you can create the path animation. That was another thing that we tried, the path animation. Okay, and then we tried symbols also. Symbols, I'm making another file, opening another file, ActionScript 3.0.
3.0. So
Yes.
this is
Now
a new
this
version of Animate.
3.0 is that's a scripting language version. 3.0 is the latest one.
3.0. Okay, okay.
ActionScript 3.0. Okay. When you open a new one, we get that option.
No,
Okay.
no, but
Hmm.
the Animate was looking different. In the class we used to do, it was like black screen, but now it was like a little bit red.
The canvas, no, the interface, right? Interface means
Interface,
see with each
interface,
update there
interface.
will be
Yeah.
some difference, but anyway, the working everything is the same. All these
Okay,
functions
okay,
remains
okay,
the same. Okay.
okay, okay.
The way the look will be different, but the functioning is all the same. Okay. Now the symbol stuff. Symbols are like if you have some element to be animated. For example, we tried some. You can import a picture or even a simple shape. You can yes, I'll use a shape. Okay, I made a shape. And right now we are in scene one. This is scene number one. We are in scene one. We have a shape here. I want to convert it to a symbol. Okay, to convert any object to a symbol, select that object and press F8. F8 is for creating a symbol. F6 for keyframe.
Mm,
F8 for
free frame
converting the selected object to a symbol.
into symbol.
Select,
Yeah.
then F8, we get the option to convert to symbol. In this, you can see three types of symbols are loaded: movie clip, button, graphic. The movie clip symbol I'm using and naming it uh, animated box. Okay, right. So we have the box here, and we remember we are in scene one. If you double click, see, I'll name it box. The layer name is box. We are in scene one. If we double click this one, you can see we have shifted from scene one and we are inside the animated box. Animated box is the name of that symbol. We are
Symbol.
inside
Yeah.
the animated box. That
Inside.
means
Yeah.
we are inside the box with another timeline. What you see now is the timeline of the box inside
Inside
the
the
box.
timeline.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay. For
Yeah.
I'll name it inside box. Inside box. If you go to scene, it is box. If you double click, we are inside box. Right? So whatever animation you make here will be animating the box, but in the scene one, there will be no extra frames. Only one frame will be there. Double click, we are inside the box, and maybe at frame number 10, F6, I'll reshape this. Okay, frame number 20, F6, I'll change the thing. Frame number 30, F6, again, reshape. Right. Now I want to animate this. Click on the layer name, then right click anywhere and choose a shape tween. It's a tweening. Back to scene one. Look at this. Only one frame is there because what we did was inside
Inside
the
the box.
shape.
Yeah.
So the
Inside the
benefit
shape.
is you
Yeah.
can move and place this anywhere. Okay. Control enter
Okay.
and check. Look at this. It's an animated object. Okay, you can place
Hmm.
anywhere. And the benefit is if you go to file, export, sorry, import with another file, you can see this open external library feature. If you're working with another file, if you have saved this, then you can share this with other animate files. That's a
Animate.
benefit.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Okay, fine. And you can even make duplicates, any number of copies. Control enter. Look at this.
Okay. Alt by dragging alt, na?
Alt and drag. You can do
Alt
alt
drag.
and
Yeah.
drag. Otherwise, move to library, then drag and drop. That's another way. Both way,
Okay. Okay.
you can
Yeah.
create
Yeah.
multiple copies of the same. These are called the instances. Copies are called instances. Okay. You can even rename each one. That is, for each instance, you can give a different name. Okay. For
Hmm.
in a
Yes.
classroom,
Yes.
different students will be there, right? Each student has a name. That's your ID. Same like that.
Okay.
Each
Different
one can
ID.
be
Yeah.
given different ID.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, fine. So it's all instances of the same symbol. So that's a movie clip symbol, right? So it has its own timeline inside. And the benefit is you can make any number of copies. You can freely move it anywhere. And the another benefit is you can share this with other animate files. If you save this, if you're saving this in other animate files, you can use the same movie clip and work on
Share.
it. Okay, fine. And then another type of symbol, I don't know whether we tried that or not. That's a button symbol. make a shape.
Okay. Like click button.
Ah,
Yeah.
right. I want this to be aligned. Align panel. If it's not visible here, go to window, then align panel. Window, align. Window menu, then align. Then align to stage, center, 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 center. I'm not selected this. Center, center, right. Okay. I don't want this to be sticky. So what to do? Select Control G, grouped. Okay, right. And then I want to draw another shape. I'll change the color. Control G. Right. I'm highlighting this. F8, and this time I'm going to select the button symbol. This is a button symbol. Click OK. Again, we are in scene one. If you double click, we go inside the button symbol. And
Button
here,
symbol. Yeah.
instead of frames, we can see up, over, down, hit. These are states actually. Okay, no frames, but states. Up state, it looks like this. F6, that's the over state. When you move the cursor, what should happen? I want this to display like this. Okay. Oh,
Okay, change.
right. This is the change that we want in the over state. In the down state, F6, in the down state, I want this to be like this. Okay. Now back to scene one. Control enter, up. This is the up state, over, down. Up state, move the cursor, over state, press the mouse button, down state, like this. That's a button symbol. Okay, this is actually for
Button.
clicking and navigating. You know, all the buttons are like this. If you move the cursor to the menu, see the color changes, right? That's a over state. When you click, again it changes. That's a down state.
Downstate.
Okay,
Yeah.
three states are there for all the keys. Okay, so these much things we have tried. Even the masking we did, right?
Layer masking, right?
Layer mask.
Hmm.
Okay. Uh, for masking is simple. Again, turn on. I'll import a picture. Take any picture. It's a big one. In the align panel, turn on align to stage. I want to make this fit to this canvas. Match sizes, match width, match height. Then align center, center perfectly aligned. So this is the cartoon. Okay, I named it cartoon. Cartoon layer. Lock this. Then I'm making a new layer. I'm naming it mask. So the object to be masked is below and the mask element is on top. Then I'll make a shape. Then right click, mask. That's it. That's a simple
Okay, only
masking
that
tool.
shape.
Right. And you can do this with anything, maybe text also. Cartoon. I'll change the font to something thick. Impact. Now you do right click and choose mask. Look at this. Like this. So many things we can do with this. I think
Okay,
we
okay.
tried
Yeah.
few. Okay, that's a
Yeah, we made the earth moving. The
right, the globe and all,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The
Yes, yes,
globe.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this much things we have tried in Animate, and then before now the cartoon. I think we need to take a break, and
Okay, okay. No problem. So yeah.
yeah, by three
Uh,
we'll start again. Okay.
by three. Okay, okay. Done, sir. Done.
Okay.